everybody. This is Susan again, your certified functional nutritionist, and I am so excited to have Suzanne. She has been a reoccurring guest on this show, and she has stepped into being a makeup artist for mature skin. And since I'm going to be turning 56 soon, I thought maybe that I should learn actually how to put on makeup. I've got droopy eyelids and wrinkles, and things that people
do with all the things that we do as our skin matures.
Exactly. So Suzanne, why don't you just kind of tell everybody and how you kind of stepped into this?
Okay, well, in January, I retired after almost 40 years in nursing. And so as a nurse, I always was taking care of people, teaching people, and I knew I was going to do a lot of traveling, and my skin had changed over the years, and I did not like what I had. And so I was just browsing, as you would, on the internet and found this makeup. And I loved it because it was perfect for traveling. It's all magnetized, it's creamy, it's really for mature skin. But when you travel, this is all you need to travel with, or you pick out the size that you want to take with you. But really, to do Susan's face today, we're just going to do 4 colors. And we're going to do a main shade, which is your normal makeup color.
Suzanne, you actually like color match to me. Yes, you color match.
So everybody's individual. So, Susan had to send me a selfie, and we looked at it and made sure that we got just the right colors for her. And so these are Susan's colors. And so everybody's are different. Mine are different. And then as you get into it, you can kind of expand, and you end up with lots and lots of colors. But you have lots to choose from. But you have a main makeup shade. And then what is interesting about this makeup is that it is 3D. So we try to brighten the center of the face. We try to move the shadows, because as we mature, our faces tend to get some hollows where we don't want them. So we try to bring those shadows up to give our face a natural facelift without surgery. And then we work on, the creamy makeup. It works great and hides wrinkles and hides the dark spots that I have from wearing the baby oil when I was, 16.
The baby oil.
And and then you can just decide what color blushes and those kinds of things. So it's really a natural looking makeup. Is as much as you can put, as much or as little as you want. And the nice part about this is you only put one thing on at a time. So you're never layering makeup on top of makeup on top of makeup.
Nice. And I don't like that cakey feeling. I'm excited to try it. And I have given Suzanne a good thing to work with, because I have a blemish, which I never have, and I woke up and I didn't sleep that well last night. So now I got some bags and dark circles, so here you go.
We're going to watch it cover. So the first thing that we're going to do is I think we're going to pick out a little bit, and I'm going to hide that blemish. So when you look at the color wheel, we notice that the blemish is red, so we want something that's kind of a little greenish color. And so I have something that is not necessarily greenish, but it's a little bit on the lighter side. And we're going to see if we can just hide that just a tad. And the nice part about this is we don't want to put a ton of concealer on. So we're just going to dab that on, and poof. No more blemish. Okay. Need a close-up of that, because there's absolutely no blemish there.
So when you say don't put a ton of concealer, why?
Well, I'm going to show you how to put the makeup on.
Okay.
Because the old way to do it is to take that liquid concealer, go under the eye,
right here,
have these nice half circles under the eye. What it does, it drags your eye down. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the concealer just in the corners of your eyes and on the outside corners of your eyes, and we're going to pull them up. And that way we're just going to dab it in. Because if you take pictures of even 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, kids have a little bit of blueness under their eyes. I mean, we don't want to erase everything about ourselves. I mean, I'm 60, and I've got some dark spots. I'm going to try to cover them so that you don't see the dark spot before you see Suzanne, but they're part of who I am. So we'll do what we can, but we're not going to cake it on.
Love that. Love that.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a simple brush, and I'm going to dot it on Susan's face so you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Okay? So I'm going to start with the darkest color, and no one ever taught me how to use contour. But what we're going to do is we're trying to, our normal, so Susan's normal hollow is here. So I'm going to go up to her cheekbone because I want to draw her face up. and I'm just going to put it about halfway out to where her eye is. So do you see, you can put anything, you know, an eyeshadow brush, what have you, but I want to mostly be on the cheekbone. Okay, so we're going to just keep drawing on her face, and you're going to see where this goes. She doesn't have a super high forehead, but it's always fun to add a little bit of depth at your hairline.
And what does that do when you say?
It just shortens your forehead a little bit. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring the focus to the center of your face.
Gotcha.
We want people to be looking at your eyes. We don't want people to be like distracted with the rest of your face. So what this does is brings the shadows and the lights
Well, and I know as you get older, we have our hairline recedes a little bit.
Right.
So that's like
Right.
a nice little tip.
Yeah, and so we want to go, and we want that to go all the way back into the hairline. So you see I've got it there, and then what we'd love to do is put just a little bit down the nose.
And what does that do?
It just brightens that area, because now I'm going to add a little brightener down the center of the nose, and that will draw your attention again to the center of the face. I'm going to put a little bit underneath your lip
Why do you do
line,
that?
because our lips thin as we get older. And so we want to create that little bit of a fat lip effect. And we took a picture of Susan before, and we're going to take a picture of her afterwards, and we're going to see the difference. And then we tend to hollow out right here where our jowls, you know, some people have it more than others as you get older. And so if we just put a little bit of shadow underneath, I'm not talking about on top, but underneath that, we will blend that all out, and that will take away any type of light that's going to hit that jowl area. Okay, so there we have the contour. Super easy. Now we're going to go in with your main shade, and like we say, we're just going to put one layer everywhere. We're not going to pile it on. And so we're going to put one here, and then we're going in with the lighter shade.
And this is what you matched me with.
This is what I matched you with. These colors. Now I added, because you were a little afraid of contour, I think.
Yes, I was.
I added the contour color.
Yes, that's okay.
And then we picked out the blush together today. So because of what you're wearing, and there's so many beautiful colors that you can wear for blush. You can decide to match your outfit, or, you know, I'm a pink person, so I usually pick, you know.
Is there like a rule of thumb that you should not?
No.
Okay, so it's whatever you
That's
like.
the one thing I love about this makeup. There are no rules, and so you can decide, you know, you can decide when I blend it out, I'm going to blend from the dark to the light or the light to the dark. It's totally up to you.
Okay.
All right, and so now we're going to go in, and we're going to put a little bit of light right. I'm going to make, this is the money shot right here. We're going to go right down the side of the nose. Instead of going,
is that the concealer type? Yeah.
This is the concealer. Instead of doing the womp underneath the eyes.
Me.
And then we're gonna give her a little lift on the side. And then we're gonna do the eyes. We'll do the eyes leftwards.
Okay.
Okay? So that is it. That is really all we need on there. And then, of course, we can add your blush color. We wanna go ahead. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. All right. Then we are going to, you ready? All right, I'm going to go light to dark because I don't want to muddy any of the light parts. So I do the dark last.
Okay, and then why did you decide to make that decision?
Because when you take the dark and you press that in, and then you go over the light, you're going to have some dark on your brush, unless you change brushes.
Gotcha.
And this whole method is you can use the same brush pretty much for everything.
Wow. That's awesome.
Which is
you don't have to have a gazillion brushes.
And we just want to tap it in. We are not like pushing it in. We are not making, you know, not stretching your face out. We're just tapping, tapping, tapping.
You know, and that's probably, especially with the concealer part, you know, when you say you put, then you use to blend it in, and you're probably dragging that skin down.
Dragging the skin. Yeah. Yep. And it doesn't matter if we don't have every little piece of skin covered, because it's all going to blend together. So I like to do the center. I leave the nose for last.
And why do you leave the nose for last?
I just think it's just the last thing on your face. We just want to make sure that it's got enough lightener on it. And like I said, everybody's got their quirks, and that one's mine. I leave the center of the eyes and the nose for last. All right, so then we're gonna, and I'm gonna flip my brush so my brush.
You know what I love about, and I love this, is because it isn't cake on there. It's just one layer. And it's, and I love that concept.
Now for contour, for us mature women, we want to go up and back.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go up back. We're just going to kind of swirl it in as we
Up, back, and swirl.
up, back, and swirl. And it's very, very pigmented, these colors. Okay. I'm going to flip my brush and just so I can get in. And I'm going to do right on the side of the nose, and I'm bringing that lightness down. So I'm not really putting a ton of eye makeup underneath your eye, but we're distracting the eye that looks at you so that they don't see that bluish color with the lightener here on the side. And I'm going to go in with just a little bit more of your main shade, and we're going to just tap onto where that
Blemish was.
blemish was,
Dang
and
it.
it's gone.
I love
Totally
that.
gone. And we're going to do
So
that right
pretty.
in the middle. All right, now look at me, and we're just going to say, oh, I think we can put a little more just to even it out. Contour on this side. Okay. Now, there's a whole dilemma on, do you do the apple of your cheeks or not? I think as you're mature women, we look better with a little bit in the center of our face, the apple of the cheek.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. I
Okay.
usually do apple and then
So-
kind of out a little bit.
We're done. Now all we have to do are the eyes.
Okay.
All right, so we picked out a couple of colors for the eyes. Now I have I have a ton of colors here. So Susan and I looked at these ahead of time. The eyeshadow brush is super important because we want it to be very, very soft because we don't want to drag the skin down. I'm going to start with the main shade. And we talked about what happens when we get hooded eyes. So,
Yes, and I am developing that as well, yeah.
So the best trick to do with hooded eyes is to use a medium shade color all over your eye. And when you're putting it on, you make sure to leave your eye open. Because then what
Really?
you're doing is you're making sure that you're getting the color on that brow bone and that we're just going to see that color.
Interesting. Okay.
Okay, so
Give it a
we're
shot.
going to use a medium. We are actually using just a really, it looks light here, but it's a medium brown. It's actually called Pup. It's one of my favorites. And I'm going to start on that brow bone and I'm going to bring it down in. And it doesn't take very much. And Susan doesn't love a lot of makeup, so we're going to just do a very light look. And we're going to do the other eye. Again, keep your eye open.
Yeah, I am, I'm not one to wear a ton of makeup. So this is, and I don't feel it like it's cakey at all. I don't feel it,
It's
which is
really
great.
light.
Yeah.
Very, very light. Okay, so the other thing we're going to do is we're going to put just a little bit in the corners, and that's going to bring your eyes up. So we decided on just a little bit of a brown, so close your eyes for just a minute. And all we do is draw 7 in the corner, and we just kind of dab it out.
Are there any rules to eyeshadows for colors or just to make sure if you have a hooded eye, just
Get it up
Yeah.
above. Yep.
up and above? Okay.
And you always want to put your darkest color on the outside. That's typically the only rule that you would have, and then you play. I think we forget as we mature that we can't play with makeup anymore. Or maybe our moms didn't teach us how to do it. Well, let's learn some new rules. And the young girls have it all down. I mean, they know, they do tons of contour. And oh, that's pretty. Okay, then we're going to use something called hot chocolate. We're just going to we can still use glimmer as mature women also.
Yay.
Okay.
Love a little
But
glimmer.
we're going to put it on the lid and not on the upper part that moves.
Okay.
So we're just going to put a little bit, and I like to use my finger because it stays on that way, and it just gives us a little sparkle. And if you wanted to, we can highlight under the brow bone with just a very light color, and that just
And what does that do?
brings the arch out in your eye. All right. Now, the great part about this is that the lip color is also your cheek color.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm going to let you got a little mirror here, put a little bit of lip color on.
With my finger? Okay. Oh,
And this one is satin. So it's always good with a little bit. You can put a little bit of glossy if you want to on it. Just Okay, now. Okay, the reveal.
Woohoo! Wow. Here we go. I love it. It's
Too much?
great. No, I love
Okay.
it. It's great.
Awesome.
As I said, I don't
Super
feel
simple.
it. Yeah, it is.
Now, we have, if you wanted to put on some powder, there's powder that goes on very lightly, and it's just a very, very, and you can just, these rules work with any kind of makeup. You don't have to use my special makeup for any of this. The placement and everything is just the same with any kind of makeup that you want to use. I just like this because I know that I'm going to be traveling to see future grandkids and hopefully see the world. And everything here is all magnetized.
That's
so
nice.
I can pick out whatever I want. I usually take one that's this size. It's a double decker. And everything, even the eyeshadows, are all magnetized. And it's TSA approved. So I just throw it in my bag. And this is all I take with me.
Wow.
I don't take bottles. I don't take blushes that crack and eyeshadows that crack. You can't tell you how many times I've taken a nice big palette and I get there and 2 of them have broken or whatever. And I can't use them anymore.
Yeah.
So that is what drew me to this, and it's a keeper for me.
That is awesome. No, I love what you have done. And it was like, what?
Fast.
It was fast.
Easy. How fast did we do that?
Yeah, like 10 minutes.
Is that 5 minutes? No, 10 minutes.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, that's and so you stopped. So you jumped into this.
I did. I found it. You know what? I was looking for something. I wasn't looking to do this, which is so interesting. I had just retired from nursing, and I was, entering kind of the health space, and I was looking for something for myself to feel more confident and to get out there. And I knew that what I tried, I'd gone on Crunchy and all the different websites for all the most natural makeups. And I have like 5 different, I couldn't get the right colors. I couldn't get them to look right on my skin. And so these had a 30-day money back guarantee. And somebody said they would match me. And so I had followed a influencer that I just really liked, her personality. And so I said, okay, match me. So she sent me all the information. I ordered it, and I knew that if I didn't like it, I could send it back in 30 days. Well, I loved it.
Yeah.
And I loved it so much, I said, I want to tell other women about this, because as a mature, I just retired. I was trying to find my place in the world. I still wanted to get out there, but I wanted to look my best doing it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of jumped into this and loved it. So.
That I love that. And I love right now, as I said, I'm not one to wear a lot of makeup, and it's because of that cakey feeling. And I have to admit, I don't feel any of it. I mean, I love that. That's great. Let's talk, we only have a couple more minutes, but let's talk about eyebrows real quick. So I did put a little bit of, because our eyebrows thin out. And so what's kind of like talk about that.
Yep. The other reason I know I didn't mention about this makeup is I was looking for something that was gluten-free, because in my life, with the issues, my health issues that were going on, I needed something that was gluten-free. Very few makeups, you read the labels, and there's a lot of hidden stuff in there. These had very few ingredients, and one of them was no parabens, no sulfates, no gluten. And I went, okay, I can try it. So eyebrows are super important. Now, I use the eyeshadows, and I use a brush that is kind of angled, and I don't have one here out, but you simply can draw in with using shadow and then using just a little bit of eyebrow wax for that.
And then what is it? What's kind of the rule of thumb for eyebrows? I never know.
Yep. Typically, they'll say go from the inside of your nose to the inside of your eye, and yours are like perfect. This one you could probably draw in a little bit more over here.
And then what about to the outside?
You know what? The one thing I know from my health space is that if you have trouble with your thyroid, your eyebrows are going to thin on the outer third.
Really?
And so a lot of women have to draw them in.
Okay.
So you really want to just take it from the nose to the outer portion of the eye, and that's where you should end your eyebrow.
So we're going to come back into a second episode and talk about skin health. So we're not done yet, but join us in the other episode that will be airing soon.
Did you know there's a link between diabetes and cardiovascular disease? If you have diabetes, you're more likely to have risk factors associated with cardiovascular disease, including obesity and high blood pressure. Take steps today to reduce your risk for cardiovascular disease, manage your A1C, blood pressure, and cholesterol levels, develop or maintain healthy lifestyle habits, and learn ways to manage stress. Take medicines as prescribed by your doctor. Stop smoking or using other tobacco products. Take diabetes to heart. Visit niddk.nih.gov to learn more.
Where can you watch KPAO Community Television? You know, the channel with all of the local shows. If you live in the Omaha area, Cox Channel 22 HD is your place. If you prefer streaming, go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. And now, if you have the Apple TV box, grab our app and watch us there. KPAO on cable, streaming live, and now on Apple TV.
Prediabetes is a serious health condition where blood sugar levels are higher than normal, but not yet high enough to be diagnosed as type 2 diabetes. More than 1 in 3 U.S. adults have prediabetes, but most don't know they have it, and there are usually no symptoms. Making healthy lifestyle changes can make a difference. You can prevent or delay type 2 diabetes, and you can even manage or reverse your prediabetes. Visit niddk.nih.gov to learn more.
KPAO Community Television. It has something new.
Okay, let's talk. What are we making today? Because we're using peppers.
All of your favorite shows
For the dish, I'm Pam Weeks.
are available no matter where you are.
And Marjorie, it's so good to see you.
KPAO on the go. Go to kpaoTVOmaha.org. All of your favorites now streaming.
Hi everybody, my name is Susan and I am your functional nutritionist. I'm with Ahava FN, and it is my mission to educate the public on healthier food choices, because we cannot change our lifestyles and we cannot thrive in vitality unless you know what you're putting in your body and what your body is absorbing. And so before we go into the sensible substitution part of the episode, I have to get on my soapbox for a little bit. There's an epidemic. There's an epidemic of sugar overload in our systems, and it is creating so much havoc within our body. It's creating joint pain. It's creating inflammation. Those 3 o'clock fatigue crashes, probably because of too much sugar in your system. I'm not going to go into the scientific background, but the science is there to back it up. And Forbes put out this study, and it's pretty interesting. They say that we are ingesting per year 3,550 pounds of sugar, which can fill an industrial-sized dumpster. Oh my gosh, that is a crazy amount for our body to absorb. Our bodies are not used to ingesting this much sugar. The FDA says that we should only have this amount of sugar per day. And when you break down that 3,500 a year sugars that we're ingesting, it comes to about 39 teaspoons, which is this right here. That's 39 teaspoons of sugar a day. That's not even a can of Coke. A can of Coke has more sugar than that. So you can just imagine what you're doing to your body when you're putting this much sugar into it. And it is just creating so much havoc and chaos, and it can lead into, type 2 diabetes and the inflammation that can further create more conditions that are just not healthy for us. So you're saying, well, Susan, what can I do? Well, that's where I want to help you. And so with sensible substitutions. One, I'm going to recommend you get rid of this. You get rid of this white refined sugar. It's yummy and it's good and it lights up our brain, but it is so bad for our body. So just get rid of the pantry. We're not going to even look at it. So then you won't even be tempted to cook with it. But these are some great substitutes that you can use. And this is a coconut sugar. A coconut sugar, the reason why it has a little bit more nutrients and it has a little bit more minerals in it, so it's going to slow down your digestion of that refined sugar. and it's just a little bit better and a little bit healthier for you. And you can basically substitute 1 for 1. So instead of using that refined sugar, I would use this. And as I said, these are baby steps to start going in the direction to really reducing your sugar intake. Another great one is monk fruit. It's very sweet, it's very fine, but it's also a 1-to-1, and it is a great substitute you can use. We have honey. I would recommend a local honey because it will help. It can actually help with your allergies. There's some studies shows that can help with your allergies. So honey is great, and there's a lot of great honey farms, especially in the Nebraska area, that you can just go and see what all their flavors and what their honey is about. A great substitute, maple syrup. I would make it a grade A maple syrup, a fantastic substitute. Stevia is another substitute that you can use. So there's several options out there to get rid of this refined sugar and start reducing it. And if you even had to take a little bit, even a more baby step, you're like, Susan, I'm not ready to get rid of that sugar. I love the taste too much. Then maybe you do. Let's say you put sugar in your coffee, you put a tablespoon, maybe you put a half a tablespoon of refined sugar and then a half a tablespoon of coconut sugar. And then you can slowly move over to 1 table of coconut sugar. And then you can move over to reduce the coconut sugar as you go down the path. It's all about baby steps. It's all about understanding what you are putting in your mouth and the choices that you make. Again, my name is Susan and I'm with Ahava FN, and I just want to bring you sensible substitutions, solutions to your world so you can make better choices.